you want to become her, the most confident, unapologetic version of yourself, you need to stop negotiating with the version of you that settled. Confidence isn't something you wake up with. It's something you decide on. And no, she's not perfect, but she walks in like she is. Because the woman you're becoming, she doesn't flinch. She leads. And today we're stepping into that kind of energy. Hi guys, I'm Daria and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, this is the space where we talk about personal growth, building confidence, and breaking free from the things that hold us back. Today we're unlocking your confidence, the kind that doesn't ask for permission, doesn't wait for validation, and definitely doesn't play small. This is about stepping into your power and owning every room you walk into. Let's get into it. Chapter 1. Stop shrinking to fit places you've outgrown. You want to know the real reason people call confident woman too much? Because they can't control her, because she doesn't need their approval, because she walks in like she already owns the place and looks good doing it. And that shakes people. Let me be clear, confidence is not arrogance. It's not loud or flashy. Real confidence is quiet. It's composed. It looks like calm in a room full of chaos. But don't get it twisted, it's still powerful. If people say you're intimidating, good. Maybe they should ask themselves why your self-respect feels threatening. If you've ever held back a compliment for yourself, dimmed your light so someone else could feel taller, or downplayed your ideas so you wouldn't seem full of yourself, this is your wake-up call. You're not full of yourself. You're just done pretending you don't know who you are. It's time to stop twisting yourself to fit into boxes that were never designed to hold you. You don't need to apologize for having presence, or beauty, or ambition, or standards. Tone it down. For who? If your confidence scares them, good. Let them run. You're not here to be soft on insecure people. You're not a background character. You're the star of the show. You weren't put here to blend in. You were born to stand out. And if they can handle your shine, well, maybe they should have brought sunglasses. Confidence is not about being liked. It's about being respected, even in your silence, especially in your silence. And when you stop apologizing for being the main character, you stop begging for permission to be seen. You simply exist, and that alone is a shift. Confidence doesn't mean you have to be loud, but it does mean you stop whispering your worth. And let's be real, you were never too much. They were just never enough to handle all of you. Chapter 2. Be unapologetic in a world that profits off your doubt. You want to doubt yourself? Keep second-guessing your worth? The world won't just let you. They'll encourage it. Because a woman who questions herself is easy to manage. Easy to market to, easy to overlook. But the minute you say, I know my worth, I'm done settling, I'm the price, watch the room get real quiet. Suddenly, it's too much. Suddenly, you've changed. Yes, you have, and you should be proud of it. See, we've been conditioned to think that being modest means disappearing, that playing small is polite, that wanting more makes us ungrateful or worse, greedy. No. Enough of that. Modesty isn't about shrinking, it's about knowing exactly who you are without needing to shout it. And sometimes the honest truth is, you're brilliant, you're beautiful, you're undeniable, and frankly, the room is lucky to have you. And you know it, so act like it. You don't need to apologize for recognizing your own value. That's not arrogance, it's alignment. Because when you walk like you already belong, people notice. Some will admire it, others will resent it. Neither is your problem. Let them talk. They'll call it delusion when you believe in yourself before the results show. Let them. You don't owe anyone a spreadsheet of your potential. This isn't Shark Tank. You're not here to pitch. You're here to arrive. Your belief in yourself does not need cosigns or approval from the crowd. And when people start getting uncomfortable with your glow, this is not your sign to dim. This is your signal to shine even brighter. Let them blink. You were not put here to be digestible for people still figuring out their own confidence. Because here's the truth. Most people don't want you confident because a confident woman is expensive. She costs comfort, control, and convenience. And not everyone's ready to pay that price. You stop chasing validation and suddenly they have less control. You stop seeking approval and suddenly they're uncomfortable. Why? Because confident women set standards, and standards make people nervous, especially the ones who never plan on raising to meet them. So yes, be confident. Be so confident it's borderline disrespectful, not because you're trying to prove something, but because you finally stopped trying to prove anything at all. And when you stop seeking permission to take up space, you realize you never needed it in the first place. And if your confidence ruins someone's day, well, at least it was memorable. Chapter 3. Confidence without permission. You don't need permission to become her. Not your inner circles, not your boyfriends, not society's. Confidence is a decision you make, not a reward you wait for. You're not a museum piece waiting for validation. You're a masterpiece that already knows her worth. And the moment you realize that, you stop waiting for permission from others and start living your truth. Stop asking, do I belong here? Start saying, this place is lucky I showed up. I deserve to be here. And if anyone's feeling a little off about it, they can grab a seat and enjoy the show. You don't earn confidence like a gold star in school. You remember it, you reclaim it, you decide it's yours. The moment you stop asking for approval, you start living, really living. You start dressing for yourself, speaking for yourself, walking like your presence is a privilege, because it is. And sure, it might throw some people off. Some will call you too confident, too bold, too sure, too much. Please, they're just not used to a woman who doesn't shrink before she enters the room. They accepted you to tiptoe in. How unfortunate. You showed up in heels and purpose. The world will try to make you feel like you need permission to slip to your own brilliance. You don't. There's no application process to step into your power. The job is already yours. So, are you going to wait for someone to hand you that permission slip? Or are you going to step into the role you were born to play? Start acting like you were born for the role, because you were. Real confidence isn't about being the loudest. It's about being the clearest. Know who you are, know what you bring, and stop negotiating with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Not everyone needs access to you. Not everyone gets to vote on your potential. This isn't a democracy. It's a one-woman show, and you're the headliner. Confidence is when you walk in like you own the room, not because you think you're better than anyone, but because you're not here to compete. You're here to shine. And no, that's not arrogance. It's self-respect, dressed as certainty, not loud, just undeniable. You don't have to wait for someone to crown you. You are the crown. So wear it like it's custom made, because it is. And when someone asks, who does she think she is? Smile and say, exactly who I've always been, just with better lighting and zero patience for approval. Besides, I don't think, I know. Confidence without permission, that's not just powerful, that's unforgettable. Chapter 4. The energy that enters the room first. Have you ever seen someone walk in, say nothing, and still shift their entire room? That's not just charisma. That's energy. That's self-respect, doing all the talking. Confidence isn't about volume. It's about frequency. And you know what resonates? Certainty. The kind of certainty that doesn't flinch under pressure. The kind that doesn't shrink in the shadow of someone else's insecurity. Your presence should speak before you do. Start carrying yourself like someone who has nothing to prove and everything to protect. You're not a product waiting to be chosen. You're the kind of energy that makes people sit up straighter without you saying a word. When you know who you are, you stop auditioning for roles you've already outgrown. You stop explaining yourself to people who only paid attention once you sparkled. You stop softening your edges just to make someone else more comfortable. Confidence is walking away from the things that don't feel right without turning it into a TED Talk. You don't need to over-explain, and you definitely don't need to wrap the truth in silk for someone who would have torn it anyway. Walk in with presence, leave with respect. And if they talk, let them. They're not talking about you. They're just revealing the limits of their own reflection. Your energy is refined. Start treating it like a luxury, not a giveaway. You don't owe every room your story, just your standard. You weren't made to shrink. You weren't made to blend. You were made to stand out, gracefully, unapologetically, and in full presence. And let's be clear, this isn't about being better than anyone else. It's about finally refusing to pretend you're anything less than extraordinary. Not everyone will understand your energy, and that's not your problem. It's your filter. The most powerful woman in the room isn't always the loudest. She's the one who knows when to speak, when to leave, and when to simply tilt her head and let the silence do the math. Be the energy that enters first, the standard that makes others rise, the reminder that you can be soft without being silent, and strong without ever raising your voice. Because real power, she walks in wearing presence like perfume, subtle but impossible to ignore. Chapter 5. Becoming her was never an accident. You don't stumble into confidence. You build it, you choose it. You commit to it like a love affair with yourself. There's no magic formula, no 5-step plan that guarantees the glow up, but there is a non-negotiable. You have to decide you're worth becoming every single day. Some mornings you'll wake up and not feel like her. You'll feel soft, unsure, human. Get up anyway. Put on your boldest lipstick, your favorite heels, the ones that make a hallway feel like a runway, and move like the woman your dad keeps underestimating. And so if your eyeliner wings aren't even, so what? Adjust your crown and go. Because here's the truth. The woman you're becoming, she's not built in comfort. She's built in choice. Daily, brave, graceful choice. Be so confident it's borderline disrespectful to the version of you that stayed small. Confidence is a quiet decision. It's not loud or needy. It doesn't throw a parade. It just is. Unbothered, undeniable, uninterested in shrinking to make others more comfortable. Confidence is walking past your old habits like last season trends. Been there, outgrown that. You don't chase closer from things you've already emotionally returned. It's choosing the elevated version of yourself even when settling for the easy one would have been simpler. Let them whisper. Let them side-eye. Let them wonder who you think you are. Honestly, that's none of your business. You're not in customer service. You don't owe them likability. You're too busy becoming her, the version of you that walks with intention, that laughs without apology, that sets boundaries like dinner reservations. Firm, elegant, and always in advance. You don't owe anyone a blueprint to your becoming. Let them sit in the audience while you take center stage. Let them speculate. Let them compare, because while they're distracted by the shine, you'll be doing the work, the kind that doesn't always get applause, but never goes unnoticed. Becoming her was never an accident. It was the most deliberate thing you've ever done. And no, she's not perfect. She still has days where she overthinks or spills coffee down her blues, but she shows up anyway. She lives in her standards. She walks in rooms like she belongs, because she does. So the next time doubt asks, "Who do you think you are?" tilt your head, smile, and say, "I'm exactly who I decided to be." And then keep walking. The world can catch up. That's a wrap for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're feeling inspired to step into your power and embrace your confidence. You're capable of so much more than you realize. Keep shining, and remember, you've always had everything you need to thrive. Till next time.